All right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, Connor on Chain. So, if you guys have been living under a rock and have not been paying to Virtual's ecosystem, it has been going absolutely ballistic over the last couple days here. Literally throughout Christmas, we have seen Virtual's protocol and its entire ecosystem in a literal bull run, and we have seen a ton of some of the highest cap blue chips and even some of the most ridiculous microcap agents start running over the last literal week here. So I'm going to cover a bunch of different agents. Obviously I normally cover Bitcoin, ETH, little things, but my main worry still in the market. I don't know what it is. My gut is telling me some downside. Very short-term downside is still coming for Bitcoin. But regardless of how I think and how I feel with the market, virtual just doesn't matter. That's literally why I keep this above Bitcoin. This is the one protocol that I don't know what it is. This thing has just been a beast all the way since we first really started covering it down here in November. This thing is just nuts. So I want to cover a bunch of blue chips, then we'll go to Dex Screener and we'll cover a bunch of microcaps. So AIXBT is the number one agent within the platform. This thing is now overtaken, I think, the mind share over every single agent within the entire crypto space. Currently, this is sitting at 360 something million in market cap. I'm gonna go to Dex Screener because it's way cleaner. Oh, I have it up there too. AXBT is killing it. I don't think it's going anywhere. I think just the developer and how he's built out his framework has been. I don't think there's an agent that is literally better than what it's doing. It's incredible. So again, if you guys are not familiar with Virtual's protocol, what it is that it's actually a AI agent launchpad slash entire ecosystem slash infrastructure for, AI agents. And lately we've just seen so many blue chip agents run, ton of microcaps. Even though I just said that a minute ago. But Luna's probably one of the cleanest looking charts at the current moment right now in the market for a blue chip. Luna is just an AI influencer. She's been absolutely killing it, ever since launch. Literally, the first time we mentioned it, I literally made it on a public video. It's 6 million down here. Absolutely nuts. Just this ecosystem. Luna's been killing it. AI influencer on TikTok. I don't know about Instagram. She's on Twitter, Telegram. She's even on this other platform, which I'll cover, which is, AI waifu. Something that people aren't paying attention to as far as ecosystem or, infrastructure with AI agents. So Luna is a blue chip. We got AIXBT is another blue chip. We got Sequoia is number 3 for a blue chip. This is not in any order. But Sequoia is another blue chip. They've been going hard all the way since November as well. Literally at all-time high today, and it looks like the daily candle just closed again. It's probably going to continue up. This thing is a beast. Basically AI to AI investments, kind of like an investment DAO, but it's similar but a little bit different to Vader AI, which is absolutely killing it. Vader has been one of my favorite picks. Vader AI has just been on a tear. But Sequoia is another blue chip. Vader here is literally at an all-time high. Seeing 83 million. This is basically an investment DAO. Super interesting stuff, guys. Like, there's so much under the hood with this one. But absolutely killing it. This is just chopping here for weeks. We ended up calling this. We got in at the lows. And, long term, I just think this is going to perform very, very well. It's probably just going to chill. Maybe it pulls back. Thing is, though, with this ecosystem, guys, I actually have never seen a chart so overextended, though, in my entire life. That is what very much so scares me here. Virtuals on a daily has just been up only, and what comes up or what goes up this hard ends up coming down at some point. Doesn't mean that this ecosystem is going to zero at some point. Doesn't mean it's going to just dump, but I actually expect some sort of correction slash accumulation at some point. I don't know when or if this is even going to happen, especially if Bitcoin over the next month or two goes on another tear. This will probably just chop, at some point, maybe it does something like this. That is what I expect this protocol to do. And for me, I want to load up, with size when we start to see major consolidation. This thing has just been nuts, guys. But, so Vader is another blue chip, absolutely killing it. And then I'd say one of the other two important ones that you guys should know. So those are all AI agents doing, different things. Well, there's 3 more agents. So I want to cover Game here, then Convo, because these two specifically are actually infrastructure-based plays within the ecosystem. They're not agents at all, but their infrastructure is very important for every other agent in the virtuals eco. But that's basically what Game is. But the same thing. This thing, I don't know how. Yeah, it's up a few X's at least. I can't believe how I faded this dude. For weeks, I saw this all the way down here, and I didn't think that AI infra was going to catch on like that, and it did. Absolutely nuts, but we ended up buying back a little higher, but it's still been very good so far. Game absolutely killing it. But the same thing. I expect at some point a huge correction. This is just not sustainable. You can't even tell me that's, this is undervalued. This is at a god pump. Pumps like this is what someone is waiting for throughout an entire cycle, that's huge. That is up hundreds of X's if you got in at the lows. But Game is a crucial infrastructure, which it's probably not going to stop unless virtual kind of hits a standstill. So Convo, I'm not even going to bring up. Same thing. It's a similar lower cap infrastructure. But Acolyte here is a newer one, which this one is pretty interesting. But they are currently at 24 million. I would not be buying up here. Don't be this dude. Oh my god. This is just up only. Yes, it could easily go up. But one of the biggest things that I've been very vocal about with the virtuals protocols, a lot of these coins, not every single one, but a lot of them have somewhat low liquidity. And a lot of these coins are very, very volatile. You will see coins go up hundreds of % sometimes in a matter of hours, sometimes, a day or two. But it's because it takes a lot less capital when you're throwing it at it to actually move the price, up these kind of gains. Meaning that, yes, they can pump like crazy, but if you don't get out in time, guys, some of these coins can go heavy to the downside. So you need to be very, very cautious with any of these agents. But Acolyte's pretty interesting. They actually have a fully doxed team, which is something I love to see. Very strong development. They just hired someone from, I think he's an ex-OpenAI developer, which is absolutely nuts. Same thing. This one I faded personally. Watched this at under 1 million for weeks. It's been on my watch list, and I feel like out of nowhere, this one just popped up, and just went ballistic. Personally faded this one, but absolutely killing it. To me, this is a newer blue chip, so I want to cover a few lower cap, micro caps, just a bunch of different stuff, just going left and right here, ballistic, covering these. But again, this video is not to just call 25 different coins, guys. I'm trying to just be very informational with stuff and how I'm feeling on different agents, just to give you guys an update on, just random things I'm watching to, different coins. So take all of this info as informational rather than always calling 10 coins. That's not the point of any of these videos right now that I'm making. Music by Virtual. This is pretty interesting. Just basically you can make AI music with it. Same thing. On a huge God candle. I don't recommend ever top blasting that. But very strong, very crucial project as well. So I would actually consider this another blue chip. So those are all blue chips that I mainly covered. So we're going to get into some lower cap ones here that I personally like a lot. So I want to start off with Polytrader by Virtuals. This one's kind of interesting because What this is it's basically an AI agent that updates a lot of information on potential bets on the Polytrade platform, which is a basically a trading platform for anyone in crypto and outside of crypto, but it just uses cryptocurrency, but it's one of the biggest betting platforms. So this agent is not associated with the platform whatsoever, though. And a lot of people will probably be turned off by that, and I completely get it. But I think the development team and the fact that this agent is actually making bets consistently, um, I think is actually incredible. Their development team is really strong for weeks. I mean, this has been out since November. Basically, the whole time it's been out, they've been continuously updating, very transparent, and that's what I like to see with a lot of projects. So Polytrader though is one of the only ones too that is not on a major correction. Or I'm sorry, it is not actually at God candles. It is on a major correction, kind of just consolidating. I think at this point, it's probably going to start eventually coiling back up. Could easily be going to 20, 30, 40 million. In my opinion, this is a very strong agent that is well under 10 million in market cap. But again, it's always going to be high risk, guys. But I really do like Polytrader. So let's cover a bunch of other ones. So we got, we got Pixie here, DGenC calls, a bunch of different ones. But Pixie Pixel, this is a trading platform or some sort of, trading terminal within virtuals. It's kind of token gated, so you need a certain amount of Pixie tokens to actually use the platform. But for me, I think terminals are very on and off because I know there's another. I think there's 2 or 3 other ones. But it's very on and off because obviously everyone has their own opinions on different terminals. This one, I'm not gonna connect my wallet, but I think they are very necessary though to the ecosystem. Using different tools and platforms and stuff. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about these different ones. I know there's Port, which is another one. That one's pretty interesting too, pretty solid. But so we got those. Trying to think too, because I have a huge watch list on my phone that I'm gonna pull up here. And we'll pull up this one too. This one is very interesting. So we got Liminal by Virtuals here. This one is a micro cap, basically 1.1 million. This one focuses on based AI creatures. If you guys are not familiar, there's something to do with based AI. I'm actually not too familiar with it myself as far as what these creatures are fully about, in depth. But what I do know is with based AI, it's obviously a very hyped up major project within the space. And these agents kind of have their own, like a mind of their own. But what Liminal here has done with the virtuals is this person has basically created an AI agent to actually extract data from the based AI creature. So it's almost like now this creature has a Twitter account to start tweeting from, and we can actually know its thoughts and what it's doing, all that stuff. So basically with Liminal, there's not a crazy utility. It's kind of it would be a potential bet on the idea of based AI becoming a huge narrative and maybe those creatures getting a lot of attention, and just a combination of based AI and virtual tokens. So that's something, this is very micro cap too, keep in mind. But, I just like throwing this, random information, guys, random projects out, just so you guys have an idea of, the ecosystem and what's going on. So let me pull up my watch list here as well. So we got music, we got Neurobro, which is another one. Agent YP. I actually kind of would consider this one a blue chip. It's kind of like a gaming agent or crypto gaming based agent. It's at 20 something million. This one's pretty interesting too. But, I feel like it's similar to an AI XPT, but for a lot of crypto gaming information. But again, same thing. This one is just ripping all time high. Would not buy it. We got WAI Combinator, which and I'm going to get into the infra play in a minute. WAI is on a God candle as well. I would not be buying this. It's actually not either of these. You got to scroll down a bit for this one. But go for the one here with 1.1 in liquidity. This one I think is pretty strong as well, but same thing. This is kind of like a beta to Vader AI. This is kind of like an investment, based DAO. And they're investing in micro caps. But this one, to me it's still pretty high risk. It's pretty new as well. Well, not even. It's actually been building for a while. But I consider it incredibly high risk since it's been on such a pump. One that I'm very bullish on actually is Seraph here. I don't hold this one. So yeah, keep in mind, I actually do not hold most of the agents that I'm talking about here, guys. That's why I'm saying also it's very informational. I do not hold all, 15, 20, 25 that I'm bringing up. But Seraph here is actually one that is also consolidating. This one is a bet on Bitensor and virtuals. So Seraph here, I believe, is tied to a project that is one of Bitensor's subnets, and it focuses on kind of like AI, I don't know what you call it, almost like AI detection with certain things like that. Pretty interesting stuff, literally being tied to a subnet. But I think, like I said, too, with being tied to being tied to Bitensor, I think has a lot of potential. But as far as, what it actually does on Twitter, there's not a crazy utility that I'm seeing that it can do. But I think it could be a potential bet on, Bitensor and virtuals, almost like a combo. But so that's another one. We had Cert AI, which Cert AI has been a powerhouse. This thing, this one I've been watching since launch. Shout out to Francis Dune. I'm glad he found the value with this one. This one has finally had a huge pump. Pretty sure, he's called this one, and it has been, it's been doing incredible, right? So, great move on this one. I think AI smart contract audits, this has been, I think it's a great concept, and the developer is killing it. He has been going crazy since launch. So with this one, I would not be buying up here. 100% wait for some sort of downside correction, chop, and then bullish momentum, if anything, if you're going to be jumping into some of these. But huge run on this one so far as well. Cert AI has been killing it. This NFT XBT, which I'm honestly not really a fan of that one too much. I'll bring up, I think, maybe two more agents that are kind of, I consider them OG agents, because we got VU here, which I've actually talked about in many videos. But this is Velvet Unicorn, which is actually trying to be a DeFi-based investment agent. But the thing is, they just haven't really delivered too much yet. But this one has been building. This was actually side by side with Sequoia for a while. But obviously Sequoia just completely has blown this one out of the water. But I think there's been a little bit more development lately with this one. Yeah, or launching a hedge fund rather, okay. But I don't know. This one I'd say is very high risk. But if it starts to get bigger and grow, like this one does have a lot of mind share within the space. Definitely a killer, could be a killer play if this does get implemented over time. And keep in mind, just all of these are so high risk, guys. There's iStar, Ring, which are kind of gaming-ish related. Tau Cat is another one, which I think it's too high in market cap, but there's DXAI, which this one's pretty interesting too. I think I have it up here. This one's kind of like a DeSci based agent, and they have a lot of different agents within this, whatever you want to call it, their platform and what they're building. And what they do is they focus on a ton of different diseases to things like that, and they have different agents that hyper focus on figuring out and solving different, diseases and stuff. I don't know. That's actually a terrible explanation of this. But access our specialized AI agents and interpret your X-ray images, CAT scans, CT scans, MRI scans, ultrasound images, mammograms, or PET scans. So initially when I first saw this, I thought it was a scam, but they have been developing very well, I guess, over time. lately they've been showing a lot of promise, with their development on Twitter. So this one does seem pretty strong for what it is, and this one I think is looking really good at current levels. Really hasn't had that blow off top pump yet, and very low in market cap. So this one is pretty interesting. Another one too that I think in the future, I'm very bullish on robotics, and I think that's gonna be a narrative probably well after AI agents. But we have SAM here, which is small autonomous. Oh, I'm sorry. What am I talking about? That's the wrong one. Small autonomous. What is it? I don't even know the name of it. Small autonomous motherfucker. That's what it's called, right here. But so what this is, it's a literal like a robot or something that's constantly live on Twitter. I'll show you guys. This one's I think it's kind of funny. Twitter is Sam is moving, but it's like an RC car, with a camera or something attached, but it's kind of just autonomously driving around doing its thing. So actually, I don't know if this is live 24/7 or just on and off, but I saw this yesterday live again, and it's just funny. Oh, so is it live again? So I think it is. So I mean, if you watch this, it's very slow. It doesn't really do too much, but it's basically a live robot, like a live agent, and it just autonomously moves. Started 3 weeks ago, and it's just still going. So it's kind of funny. But outside of that, there's not too much with that one. But in this video, I think I'm going to cut this here. There are probably 20 to 30 different agents that I could just, talk about here, but just to give you guys a rough understanding and what I'm kind of looking at within the AI agent space on virtuals, because like I said, there's just so much opportunity and potential here. But again, the thing is, this whole AI agent craze, and I think a lot of these coins, they're just so high risk, guys. You need to be very cautious, especially if jumping into green candles. Like, I'm very much so an advocate of not jumping into green candles. If you don't catch like a bottom of something like this, for me, that's like a rule. I will not buy it. So, something that looks like the poly chart, excuse me, I'm like losing my voice already. But like Polytrader AI, I think chart wise, yes, it looks like it's going down, but that is when you take the bet. You don't want to be buying into coins that are up 300%. You want to be taking the bet when things are low versus, again, top blasting something, when it's God candling. But again, I don't know why this one's not really having a run yet. I kind of expect it to, but this one I think is a powerhouse. And then if you want a high cap at current levels that is really strong, guys, Luna by Virtuals. I genuinely don't think you can do any wrong in Luna. I think that the only time Luna's not going to do well is if Virtual starts really nuking, aka everything starts going down, or if Bitcoin just decides to dump this, lower levels, which I actually have a bias that I think it is going to somewhat soon. So that's why I'm also saying be very cautious in the market right now. 'Cause I usually do not have these gut feelings of bearishness until something actually happens. Anyways, I've actually been waiting to short Bitcoin, call a short, but obviously it is not retested up here where I wanted it to. But it is chopping. It's looking pretty good so far. But if we see a clean breakdown, this is definitely going to probably mid-80s. But at that point, if it's actually going to get this low, that is going to be probably a great time to actually start loading up. I don't think Bitcoin is going to go much lower than like 80 to 85K. That is probably going to be where it, nukes out, then kind of chops and bounces until we potentially get another leg or at least another rally attempt back to all-time highs. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on, what I'm waiting for with Bitcoin. But just wanted to make this video, guys, to give you guys a rundown of a ton of different agents, just what I'm paying attention to, just to, give you guys some blue chips to be paying attention to. And again, careful top blasting into anything. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just trying to give you guys some coins in a range of high market cap, low market cap that I'm paying attention to. Outside of that, I appreciate you guys, and I will see you in the next video.